Hello and welcome to Tuesday's Granada Reports, live across the northwest.
Many thanks indeed for joining us on the programme this evening.
The Southport inquiry hears how the attacker's father failed to tell police he suspected his son had a knife when he tried to take a taxi to his old school a week before the attack.
Good afternoon, everyone.
William and Kate returned to Southport to show their support following last year's fatal knife attack.
Ormskirk and Southport, two hospitals, but only one will have an A&E under controversial proposals. But local people have been told their views will count.
The rising British cycling star from Preston already taking the world by storm.
What's in your loft? A determined teacher uncovers a whole host of John Lennon treasures.
And while yesterday's equinox may have heralded the arrival of autumn, the weather is looking pretty positive over the next few days. Lots of dry weather, sunny spells. Join me later for all the details.
Well, first tonight, the Southport inquiries heard the killer's father failed to report the fact his son tried to take a taxi to his former school with a suspected knife a week before last summer's attack.
Yes, AR, as he's known in the inquiry, had ordered the taxi to the Range High School in Formby, only for his father Alphonse to plead with the driver, "Don't take him."
Well, the dad later admitted he believed his son had a weapon in his backpack at the time, but didn't raise the alarm.
Anna Yosef has been at the inquiry today. And Anna, what more did we find out from police about that incident on the 22nd of July?
Well, we heard about a conversation AR's father had with his son on that day. He told police about it after the Southport attack. He said he recalled a conversation that they had had when AR had asked him if he knew when the Range High School was going to be breaking up for the summer holidays. He'd looked at his phone and had said, well, it was actually going to be on that day. And then Alphonse recalled saying something along the lines of, they'll all be going off to university now, won't they? And AR is said to have replied, well, I won't be, will I? The teenager had been expelled from that school 5 years earlier for carrying a knife and for attacking a pupil with a hockey stick. Later that day, AR had called a taxi to take him to the school, but just as the driver was about to leave, as was captured on this doorbell footage, his father ran out of the house and pleaded with the driver not to take him. In response, AR had said, I'm 18. Take me. But the inquiry heard the driver didn't want to be in the middle of a domestic and left him there. Now, DCI Jason Pye confirmed AR's father told the police after the Southport attack that he suspected his son was carrying a knife with him when he tried to take that taxi to the school, but he didn't report it to the police at the time. The inquiry has previously heard how AR had used stolen IDs to order machetes online and how he'd been building an arsenal of weapons in his bedroom for at least 2 years. His father had told police on one occasion he'd signed for one of the machetes his son had ordered and hid it on top of the wardrobe. They also knew that he'd taken knives from the family home and he'd brought them to school with him. But the DCI said that while it was fair to say that the parents must have known about some of the weapons, there was no evidence to suggest that they sympathised with his intent to carry out a violent attack. The inquiry continues.
OK, Anna in Liverpool tonight. Many thanks.
Well, next, and from the intensity of the inquiry in Liverpool to an emotional royal engagement in Southport.
Yeah, the Prince and Princess of Wales were in the seaside town to show their support for the families and the community after last summer's attack.
They spoke to teachers and pupils at Farnborough Road Infant and Junior School and Churchtown Primary School. The schools attended by the 3 young girls who died. Rob Smith has this report.
A song about a brighter future greeted the Prince and Princess of Wales at a school where the world reached its darkest last year. Pupils Alice de Silva Aguirre, who was 9, and 6-year-old BB King died in the Southport attacks. Youngsters at Churchtown Primary showed the royal couple art which expressed their journey from grief to hope.
The lightning represents our anger.
A journey also expressed outside in a playground created from remarkable fundraising.
This playground is a symbol of how the community have come together to create such a positive place for the pupils of the school. A symbol of remembrance and resilience, a testament that love will always overcome tragedy.
Listening on, Alice's and BB's parents, who also spoke separately to William and Kate on their second support visit to the town.
It is very special for having them here, coming to see what we all done together in memory of the girls.
Seeing the Prince and the Princess support that and be here has been just amazing.
There were high fives from a Royal Highness for children at a second school that lost a pupil, and comfort for a loving family who lost a daughter. Elsie Stankham, who was 7, also died in the attack. Fellow pupils have raised money for a charity in her name.
What other things have you been doing to raise lots of money?
There were chats about fundraising and favourite lessons.
Best bits about school?
Maths.
Maths. Do you like maths? Well done you. I found maths really difficult.
It felt nice to see the Prince and the Princess, and we all got to shake their hands.
The royal couple spent an hour at Farnborough Infants and Juniors, including a private meeting with Elsie's parents and a public one with senior staff.
They came across so well, very personable with the staff that they talked to and the children they talked to. It really felt like it meant a lot to them.
And meant so much too to so many children in Southport. Rob Smith, ITV News.
Let's take a look at some more of the day's news now. And a teenager found dead in Tameside after being reported missing would have turned 18 today, police have said. Catherine Blackhurst was discovered at a home on Whalley Close on Sunday morning. She'd been reported missing from Ashton-under-Lyne on Saturday. A 55-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder has been bailed.
A 2-year-old boy has died after being found unresponsive at a nursery near Wigan. Police and paramedics were called to the Parbold Douglas CE Academy nursery on Lancaster Lane in Parbold on Friday. It followed reports that the toddler had become unresponsive. The death is not being treated as suspicious.
Jaguar Land Rover has extended the shutdown of its factories until the 1st of October as it continues to deal with the fallout of a cyber attack. The Unite Union is calling for a furlough scheme for workers in the JLR supply chain as the pause in production is affecting businesses. There's thought to be around 200,000 workers in the companies that supply the car manufacturer. Well, next tonight, people are being asked for their views on controversial plans to close A&E departments at either Southport or Ormskirk Hospital.
Yes, the local NHS says the preferred option is to shut the children's A&E at Ormskirk and bring all emergency services together in Southport, but a final decision hasn't been made.
Well, we can cross now to our correspondent, Elaine Wilcox, who's there for us tonight, where a public meeting's being held in Alton near Ormskirk. Elaine.
Yes, that's right. Over 130 people have registered to give their views at tonight's public meeting. Such is the strength of feeling and level of concern over this decision. What's at stake is the NHS has said it wants to consolidate all A&E services on one hospital site. They say that is safer. Now, what they're looking at is whether that should be at Ormskirk Hospital or Southport Hospital, just 8 miles down the road. And they've said that with that decision, the fear here is that could see the closure of the children's A&E department here in Ormskirk. And parents and grandparents turning up for this public meeting tonight, have told me they're worried.
I've got 2 little ones, another one on the way. I want to be close to a children's A&E. I don't want it to move.
Moving services away from Ormskirk Hospital is going to make Ormskirk Hospital's case to stay as a viable unit weaker.
All you're going to do is increase the waiting time. Hospitals are under enough pressure these days without putting 2 hospitals together.
Well, the two organisations making the final decision have a preferred option, that is moving the children's A&E services here in Ormskirk to Southport. That is by far the cheaper option at £33 million and would take 5 years to complete. The alternative is moving them the other way, moving all the services from Southport to Ormskirk, and that would cost 3 times as much, over £90 million, and 7 other services, including critical care, would have to move too. So lots of factors to consider. Now, the Hospital Trust has said it is listening to people's views and there hasn't been a done deal.
When people talk about closing things, that is really emotive. I guess what we're trying to do is saying we're not closing, what we're doing is actually giving you better provision. It might not be in the same place, but at the moment we've got children who have to go significantly further away if they become unwell overnight and need an A&E, and we want to be able to provide that 24 hours a day.
Still 2 more public meetings to be held before the consultation ends at the beginning of October. But what is clear, the final decision won't please everyone.
Elaine, in Ormskirk, many thanks indeed.
OK, well, it's time now for a look at what's to come on the national news. Up next, here's Mary.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the Health Secretary Wes Streeting says pregnant women should ignore President Trump's claims about paracetamol use being linked to autism. The Prince and Princess of Wales visit Southport to show their ongoing support for the community there. And remembering the cricket legend Dickie Bird, who has died at the age of 92. Well, do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Yeah, so sad to hear about Dickie Bird. Next tonight, the Liberal Democrats have used their annual party conference to stake their claim that they are the party of patriots after a summer dominated by political debate about the St George and Union flags.
Yeah, it's hard to miss the flags that have popped up on high streets and motorway bridges all around the northwest, alongside an increasingly fierce political debate around asylum and immigration.
But the party has accused the others of stoking tensions with divisive rhetoric and say their own ideas fuse compassion with control. Our political correspondent, Leisha Manali, reports.
Pride or prejudice? Parts of the northwest have had a new look this summer, covered with flags that represent the United Kingdom. But what else they stand for is dividing opinion.
It's a sign that the British people, who are so tolerant, have finally got to the point where enough is enough and they want to fly their flag and they want to be proud of this country, and Reform 100% support that.
Inherently, there's nothing wrong with putting the Union Jack up or the St George's Cross up. But why now? Why at this particular time? It's related to a particular trend around reclaiming our country. Now, who are we reclaiming our country from?
Stop being so flipping squeamish in English, that's it.
At the Lib Dem party conference, this North West MP says it's time to seize the narrative.
Let us reclaim our flags for those who would reunite and rebuild, not divide and destroy, because we will not yield our identity, our flag or our country to the nationalists.
But are they also a political point, a sign of which way the wind is blowing on a key election issue, immigration and asylum, the focus of a number of protests over the last few months? Certainly the government's keen to talk tough. The recent reshuffle saw a new Home Secretary with a new key focus.
I have one top priority in my job as Home Secretary, and that is to secure our borders.
It's rhetoric the Conservative Party and Reform UK have matched when discussing who arrives on our shores and how they get here. And looking at the polls, you can see why. When asked to name the top 3 issues facing the country this month, 58% of people chose immigration and asylum. That's higher than the economy, health and crime. But here in Bournemouth, the Liberal Democrats are drawing a line in the sand between them and their political opponents. They want to stop small boat crossings, but say the dialogue has become too divisive.
We've seen some of the parties more to the right of politics use language which is quite dehumanising when talking about people who are fleeing war, fleeing persecution, trying to come to this country for sanctuary. And I think that's quite dangerous. I worry about some of the other parties who, frankly, just sound like a pretty mediocre Farage tribute act sometimes.
The The MP for Hazel Grove is the Lib Dem spokesperson on Home Affairs. Her party wants to expand safe and legal routes for refugees.
Reform UK came second in half the seats in our region. Could this stance cost you politically?
I think most people want to see a fair and effective system where we can balance compassion but also control. We're not returning people quickly enough if they've got no right to be here. What we want to see is the government declare a national emergency, set up Nightingale processing centres like we had the Nightingale hospitals in the pandemic, clear through the backlog within 6 months.
One thing every party can agree on, this is one of the cornerstone issues in British politics and likely to be the undercurrent to the next few weeks as the party conference tide turns to Labour and Liverpool. Leisha McNally, ITV News.
Well, sticking with Liverpool now, and it's time for sport. And can Liverpool continue their great start to the season as they enter the League Cup? Here's David.
Yes, they, along with Everton, Burnley and Wigan, are all in third-round action tonight. Liverpool are home to Championship side Southampton in a game you can see here live on ITV1. Well, the Reds have won this cup a record 10 times in their history, but finished runners-up last season after defeat to Newcastle in the final. Well, despite his incredible season with the Premier League champions, Mo Salah missed out on being named the world's best male footballer as Paris Saint-Germain's Ousmane Dembele won the Ballon d'Or, while Manchester City's summer signing Gianluigi Donnarumma was voted the world's best goalkeeper after helping PSG become European champions.
But I congratulate him, of course PSG as well, so it's what he has done in Paris. The impact has been really great. I have the feeling that Gigi every season is there, is close, as a good keeper that he is. Well done, well played, and congratulations.
Now, a fundraising page set up in the memory of Matt Beard, the former head coach of Liverpool and Burnley women, has raised £37,000. It's been started by the football presenter and commentator Jackie Oatley following the 47-year-old's death at the weekend. The initial target was £5,000. All the money raised will go to Matt's wife and 2 children. Well, next to cycling, and the teenage track racer from Preston who's already conquering the world. Phoebe Taylor brought home 2 gold medals from the Junior World Championships over the summer, and she's been telling Chris Hall that her passion for the podium won't end there.
After the medals comes the legacy, with our greatest ever and greatest female Olympians now both retired at Manchester's National Cycling Centre. Phoebe Taylor races in the tyre marks of the Kennys.
We've had some great names coming round this track, but one of them, Dame Laura Kenny. I mean, she's your hero, isn't she? Tell me what.
She's just such an inspiration to me because of all the medals she's won. When I met her, it was just really cool seeing someone that has achieved like a lot, and it made me want to achieve a lot.
Maybe one day there'll be kids coming after your autograph and after a photo with you.
I hope so.
She's well on her way. Already a double world junior champion after helping Great Britain to gold in both the Madison and team pursuit this summer.
Phoebe Taylor launches herself off the front like a rocket.
Not bad for an athlete who didn't always feel at home in the saddle.
That's a really nice medal, isn't it?
My dad used to do mountain biking, so then he wanted to try cyclocross, and then he took me. My first race, I think I didn't do very well, but then I just wanted to get on the podium, so I just kept going. I fell off quite a lot in cyclocross. It's trial and error, really.
We tried the ballet, we tried the dancing, we tried the swimming, tried on a horse. She just didn't really take them, just didn't enjoy it, didn't want to do it. And I said to her, do you fancy doing this race in the morning? Didn't do very well, but enjoyed it. And said to me, thanks Dad, I loved it, when's the next one?
About 2 years later I started road, and I wasn't very good, but as I trained more on the road, I got better and I got more power.
And then from road racing, was that the transition to here then?
I just went to a taster session with loads of children my age, and well, I wasn't very good at that either. But
so there's a theme developing here.
I always started everything not very good, but it was just that I was scared of the banking. Like, they're so steep, and I was literally just holding on for dear life, like all the way around the track.
Now she's clinging on to her dream. Phoebe's already in Great Britain's Olympic development squad and on track to one day get to the Games.
It's just the biggest thing in sport, really. If I get to the Olympics, that will be my biggest goal achieved.
You're now here training at the National Cycling Centre with some of the great and good of British cycling. Do you get to rub shoulders with a few of the stars now?
Yeah, lots of training sessions with them. It's such an inspiration. It's like you also see like you're riding with them, so you're not even that far away from them.
She's pushing herself as hard as the pedals, with a craving for medals reminiscent of the dame who lit her Olympic flame. Chris Hall, ITV News, Manchester.
Yes, definitely one to watch. Remember the name Phoebe Taylor, incredible there. I love that she was like, I tried it, wasn't great, then I got really good at it, tried it, wasn't great, then became a world champion. If I try something and rubbish, I stay rubbish at it, so there you go.
My problem is I think I'm really good and I'm rubbish.
You keep going, keep trying.
Thank you, David.
Now, do you know what's in your loft?
No.
I don't, I've no idea. Well, if it's been a while since you've been up there, you may want to have a poke around.
Yeah, because that's exactly what teacher Tom Barry did when he started a new job in Liverpool. And as a fan of the Beatles, he was delighted at what he found.
Our Merseyside correspondent, Andy Bonner, has the story.
As a Beatles fan, Tom Barry was overjoyed to get a job as a teacher at the place where John Lennon spent many teenage years. But little did he know what he was about to unlock. The singer spent 5 years at what was then called Quarry Bank High.
Yeah, so this is probably best known for being the school of John Lennon. This is the place where he formed the Quarrymen, where he done his first musical performance as well with the group, and obviously this is the group that eventually was to become the Beatles. So it's a place of real deep music history.
Tom gained access to the loft of one of the school buildings and uncovered a treasure trove, unseen for decades.
Just thought I'd have a rummage, and then lo and behold, I find all sorts of different bits of John Lennon paraphernalia, which has been either stashed up here or luckily has just been kept while everyone else's has been thrown out. We don't really know. We're quite happy with what we found so far.
Following up on rumours that John's school desk was hidden away up here, Tom and a colleague climbed into the roof space to investigate.
This attic has been used primarily for a dumping ground. The room which we're in now has been locked for we don't know how long, but no one's had a key. We had to boot the door in and stuff.
He was basically sawing locks off and kicking doors through to get to these spaces, and sure enough he started discovering all this stuff, but I believe that it went back to the headmaster at the time, Pobjoy, that when obviously the Beatles popped, he had the foresight to go, well, hang on a minute, maybe we should put this stuff to one side.
That desk is now on display at the Liverpool Beatles Museum, alongside other finds like Lennon's drawings in the school magazine and his name in the register.
I'd say a discovery like this comes along maybe once every 2-3 years. We love digging into these rumours, but a lot of the rumours we dig into, you get to the end of it and go, oh, it's not, But on this occasion, it was like, wow, it really is.
You say it's interesting. I mean, you must have been ecstatic.
Yeah, I was buzzing. I'm trying to play it cool. But yeah, no, it's really cool. It's stuff that Beatles fans want to experience themselves. So I've been really lucky to be able to be hands-on with it and actually experience something.
Tom's finds are on show now for all fans to see. And with more of the loft still to be searched, who knows what still lies waiting to be discovered. Andy Bonner, ITV News, Liverpool.
Yeah, watch this space. What a treasure trove.
Absolute find.
Right, let's get the weather now. Here's Pippa with the forecast.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello there. Well, it certainly has been a pretty settled start to the week, and actually for the most part over the next few days more of the same. A good deal of dry weather, some nice bright or sunny spells, feeling quite fresh though, and the nights in particular will be quite cool. And then there's the potential as we head through the weekend of seeing a little bit of rain coming our way. And we can see how this all evolves on the pressure chart for the next few days. So at the moment, high pressure firmly in charge. That then gradually nudges away eastwards, and by the time we get to Saturday, it looks as though this weather front will have started to make a bit of headway, but it will be slow progress, and of course it is a long way off. So for the time being, the emphasis really is on very settled conditions. As we head through this evening and tonight, a good deal of dry weather, clear spells coming and going, fairly light winds as well. And so worth noting, where we have the clearest skies, though, some rural spots could get quite a bit lower than these temperatures might suggest. In fact, 1 or 2 places may be low enough for a touch of rural grass frost by dawn. Tomorrow morning then, a fresh start, but the September sunshine has a bit of warmth to it, so any frost quickly dispersing. Through the middle of the day, perhaps a bit more cloud shuffling its way westwards, bringing 1 or 2 light showers. But really the emphasis tomorrow for most of us will be on largely dry conditions, further bright or sunny spells coming through. And whilst temperatures will probably peak at just 16-17 Celsius, with the sunshine and fairly light winds, it shouldn't feel too bad at all. Now, as we head overnight into Thursday, high pressure still firmly in charge. For now, at least, keeping any weather fronts very much at bay out towards the west. And as I said, it won't be until the weekend where we could eventually see a bit of rain.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Bet your loft is as messy as your office desk, isn't it?
How dare you? My office desk is very tidy. What's in your loft?
Far too many Christmas decorations.
I've got baby stuff in my loft that are absolutely staying up there. I'm done. No more babies for me.
We'll see. That's it for now. We'll be back with the late news just after news at 10. Hope you can join us. Until then, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.